Morning, everyone. It won't be morning when this is posted, but it's morning here. I'm doing this in the morning. Just some iced coffee in my Elvis cup. And I put my recipe on one of the shorts. It's an iced coffee recipe that I think is pretty good. And for a theme, I have the Sinatra coffee song. We get to use the less than 60 seconds of a copyrighted song on YouTube right now, which is great. But this is, as listed, my 10 records I listen to most. I've been watching a lot of VCers. I got to mention some of their names here. BEAUDRY, who I've been watching Ron probably for 15 years, maybe 10 years. He's Canadian. MELINDA, Andy Ford, Seeking the Thread, Lost Mixtapes, and The Long Cut. And I think this was originally, or lately, because this has been going on for years, I think Norman MASLOV initially put up a thread, or a video rather, of the 10 records I listened to most, and some picked it up as a challenge. And I've been watching them, and I want to do that as well. So I'm going to show you 10 here. There may be one bonus record in here. I'm not sure. I got 10 or 11. But these are records that I always play. I've had them in my collection maybe since high school, some of them. Most of them are from that era, the 70s. I don't think there's any 60s in here, mostly 70s. Probably no 80s except for a reissue. But I'm going to go over those, and I hope you like it. I want to thank everyone again for commenting and liking and subscribing. If you can, please subscribe if you haven't already. We really appreciate that. We're still on the Elvis theme. If you watched my last video, I went to see Reinventing Elvis the other day with two really good friends of mine, and we enjoyed it, and I gave you my reaction, impressions, review, whatever you call it. So that's up there if anyone's interested, and that's getting a lot of good feedback, so thank you. My first record up is Elton John, Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy. This is, I guess it would be considered a concept album. I just love it, and I guess it's because I listened to it in my years in high school. Bought this the day it came out, obviously. And this has 2 booklets and a poster. So if you pick up an OG copy, you'll see one of these booklets in there, which is really cool. And this record is just great. It's just a great feel-good record. Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy, Tower of Babel, Bitter Fingers, Curtains, Better Off Dead, Someone Saved My Life Tonight. It just doesn't get any better than, for me, Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy. And that's on it's a domestic on FCA. Here's a great one that's also a domestic, but it's the Artisan pressing, which I have every Stone album conceivable that's in print officially, not all the bootlegs, obviously. And a lot of they're in the vault, which are very good. But this is my go-to Stones record, Exile on Main Street. And this, if you could see on my listing, it's first press, postcards, near mint, excellent copy. And if you don't remember that, what this looks like, let me pull this out. Here's the record. 2 records, actually. And this is a gatefold with some great artwork. This record to me never gets old. It's so complicated and raw and convoluted and just varied that I just can't. It's blues, it's gospel, it's soul, it's country. And, this doesn't come with a lyric sheet. But one day, years ago, I actually went online and I printed the entire album lyrics. And when you read these lyrics, they're unbelievable. So read the lyrics. This is a desert island disc. You will always find something new in Exile on Main Street. Stop Breaking Down, All Down the Line, Shine a Light, Soul Survivor, Rip This Joint, Happy's on here, Loving Cup, Torn and Frayed, Sweet Black Angel, All Down the Line. I mentioned Shine a Light was the name of their documentary on concert that Scorsese did, their concert actually. Happy, Ventilator Blues, All Down the Line, Stop Breaking Down. So this is a go-to for me all the time. I have an original. I have a few pressings. This is my go-to pressing. Here's another one that I've been listening to since it came out in 76, I believe, 75, 76. Blood on the Tracks. This is Dylan's More Blood on the Tracks from the bootleg series. And these are outtakes and demos from that session. Tangled Up in Blue, Single Twist of Fate, You're a Big Girl Now, Buckets of Rain, If You See Her, Say Hello, Idiot Wind. It's just, I get the chills thinking about that. And here I put, as you know, I take my shrink off very gently on a gatefold, and then I use it inside the record to keep either inner sleeve intact or whatever. So that's the that Blood on the Tracks. Usually my go-to would be the original, and I also have that on a one-step, which is one of my favorite one-steps, a double 45 from Analog Product, from MoFi. And here's another one I have. I have everything that they did commercially. I don't have the bootlegs and some of the fringe later things, but I have all the originals. Chicago, and I believe this is Chicago 4, Chicago 5, if I knew my Roman numerals. And I just love this record. This also came with a poster, I believe it's in here. And I remember when I bought these have numbers. I must have bought 200 albums going back and forth to this thrift shop when no one was buying records in Trenton, New Jersey at a Goodwill or something like a Goodwill. Maybe for 50 cents, $1 each. And these were all mint. Whoever had this kept them cataloged. You also put on the price that he thought they were valued at, and this was 15 back then. But I go to this, just a great record. Of course, I always go for Saturday in the Park, Dialogue. Let me see here. State of the Union, and like I said, I usually will go to Dialogue, and I just love Saturday in the Park. It's just a great tune, a feel-good tune, like the Captain Fantastic type of thing. Here's another one that I've been going to since high school. This is Domestic, Moontan, Golden Earring. And this has Radar Love. This is a perfect album as far as I'm concerned. This is a Domestic on Tracks, I believe, right there. This is my go-to record. Sounds great. It's got a vibe. I just play it all the time. Here's a recent reissue on Music on Vinyl. That's the original cover. And I believe this format on Music on Vinyl is the original format that the original UK pressing was released in. And I also have, I don't know if it's in here, maybe not, but I also have the Domestic original cover, which is this cover, which was later pulled. A little risque for 70s. But Moontan, Golden Earring, Candies, Are You Receiving Me? Candy's Going Bad. It's a perfect album, and it just sounds perfect. I actually like the original lineup here better than the UK lineup, my original Domestic, only because I'm so adjusted to that. Cheers, and thanks everyone again for checking out the channel and doing all this stuff that you guys do out there. Here's another one that I talked about before. It's a go-to record. I always play it. Elvis Costello, Almost Blue, country album. I have the domestic and the import on Beat Records. I believe it's Beat Records. Just fantastic. Why Don't You Love Me Like You Used to Do? Good Year for the Roses, Color of the Blues, How Much I Lied, I'm Your Toy, Tonight the Bottle Let Me Down. And the lineup is a little different. I'm Your Toy is not on the domestic. I'm Your Toy is on the import, or for me, import. This has Brown to Blue, which is unbelievable. These are all penned by famous American country and western singers. And Elvis and the boys just knock it out of the park. And I was really happy to find this. I don't have a lot of original beat. I was very happy to find that. Here's something, if you can pick it up, since I'm on the subject, the Beat EP on 45, I believe. I'm Your Toy Live, Blues Keep Calling Me, and Honky Tonk Girl. And My Shoes Keep Walking Back to You. And it's the same basic cover. But a great period in Elvis when he did some American country and western, and I think it's just fabulous. He didn't do anything like that since, maybe one or two tracks. Here's another one that's Raw. It's an artist that sold hundreds of millions of records, and I just always gyrate back to Nebraska, Springsteen's Nebraska. As you know, he recorded it on his own with acoustic guitar, maybe some small accompaniment, and he put it on a cassette, and the rest is history. It's just a really big album for him, and I think this came either before or after The River. There's the Columbia American. So, but Nebraska, I just love. It's just so natural. He sounds so natural. It's not of course it's not overproduced. This is actually a promo. Here's the stamp. But, a lot of these songs were picked up by artists, Johnny Cash. I think that State Trooper, Johnny 99. You have the Nebraska, Used Cars, Open All Night, Reason to Believe. Just a stark, just like the cover, a stark, in the same vein as I think Exile is to me. Just pure emotion, not overly produced, just what we want to hear. Nebraska, Bruce Springsteen, I always play it. Here's another one that I always play. I have everything McCartney did, I believe, on record and on CD, even some of the archive reissues. But this is one I always go to. And this is the least known, as far as I know. People don't know about this, but Back to the Egg. I just love Back to the Egg. It's got a really cool insert. It's got a sunny side and a fried side, I believe. Back to the Egg. Back to the Egg. One side is fast, sunny side up, and over easy. And here's the inner. Has a plastic over the label. But I love this record. This is Wings. It might be his last Wings record. I used to know these things. I think I talked about it once. But this has Getting Closer, We're Open Tonight, Spin It On, Old Siam, Arrow Through Me, Rock Orchestra theme, which he did live with a bunch of, and there's a Townsend's on here. Let me see who else. Gilmore, Denny Lane, obviously, John Paul Jones, Ray Cooper. So just a fantastic record. There's the songs for you to see. But I always go to Back to the Egg. I have all McCartney's. I just played the other day, which I haven't played in a long time, Wings at the Speed of Sound, which is a great song, a great album. But I always go Back to the Egg, and here they are. It's a really cool album. I hope he redoes this in some type of extended box set. I know some YouTubers have talked about that, and some I watch from overseas. Keep rocking, Elvis. Keep rocking. Here's another one, a soul record that I always go to. This is an original embossed copy. Temp's Masterpiece. And the reason I love this is because of the song Masterpiece, which clocks in here as 13:54 seconds. So a 14-minute song. It also has Plastic Man, Hey Girl, I Like Your Style, which is amazing. But this record, Masterpiece, it'll bring chills to you. It'll make your stereo sound awesome. It's just a jam with bass, wah-wah, treble, hi-hat. The intro is probably 7 or 8 minutes long before the Temptations actually sing the song Masterpiece. Now, I'm always disappointed when I see the greatest hits, the Temp's greatest hits, because none of their jams are on the greatest hits. It's the single version. Like this is condensed. Masterpiece is condensed to a 4 or 5 minute track. So it's not the same. So if you've never heard Masterpiece in its extended play, pop it on YouTube and then go out and find this because unbelievable. Not sure if it was reissued or not, but there's originals out there. Here's another great soul record, Stevie Wonder, Innervisions. I love this. This is the original gatefold. And this is one of my copies. I picked this up from a used record store or a yard sale. And Exile, if you're out there, this is your album. This has Too High, Visions, and I Love Living for the City because it actually has, if you remember, the dialogue in there where a kid is caught up from the South, transported to the city, gets mixed up in a drug deal. Cops are pounce on him, and his life is just destroyed. And he was trying to get to the city his whole life to see New York City, skyscrapers and everything, which is part of the track. Don't You Worry About a Thing, Mom, Higher Ground, Living for the City, Too High, Golden Lady. Just a fabulous artwork, fabulous record by a genius, and Stevie's still rocking. So we got Innervisions, always play that. Just sounds really good. It's a feel-good record, has everything in it. The synthesizer, which he adopted and took to a new level, Stevie did. Here's the last one, and I always go to this one. It's a heavy metal rock, not heavy anymore, but Machine Head. Deep Purple, Machine Head. This has the poster, lyric poster. And this is, I believe, all a perfect album. This is a gatefold, but whatever you get, you get. I'm thinking the new ones aren't gatefold anymore. But Machine Head, and it has a Highway Star. It has, let me go over the tracks here. Smoke on the Water, which is just, will test your system out because of the way the music is just driven to you. It builds and builds. Lazy, which is amazing. Space Truckin', only 3 tracks on the one side. And you have Highway Star, Pictures of Home, Never Before. Maybe I'm a Leo or whatever, but just obviously side 2, Smoke on the Water, is what I go to, and Space Truckin', Highway Star, just an amazing album. And my wife is actually tired of these records because I play them so much. There's times when she said, "Can't you play something? Don't you ever play anything new?" That's the problem. When you have so many records, you sometimes neglect records that you just bought, and you'll go back to one that fits you like a glove or like a great pair of sneakers or jeans. You just feel warm and you're comfortable with it. When I put these on, I do critical listening. I don't do anything else because if my turntable is playing, I'm going to get the full benefit. I may listen to these in the car on CD, but they really shine for me through my stereo system on record, and I keep my records really in good condition. I clean them. I've had some of these records for over 50 years now. Hard to believe. So there you have it. That's my top 10 records I listen to most. I want to thank Rod, Linda, Maz, the Long Cut. Harry's Music Room also did a top 10 I listen to most. So I hope you enjoy this. I hope you guys don't mind me mentioning your names, and I mentioned them. So please visit these. If you don't know about these VCs, visit their channels. Just fantastic stuff. Some of them have been on for years before COVID. I just started, but some of the Maz and Ron have been on for years. Melinda Murphy, I think, is relatively new. She's great. She does some really high-tech videos as far as the graphics and things. And, so thanks a lot. I hope you enjoyed my top 10 or top 11. There's plenty more. I'm going to do some things in the future. I want to do one where original albums came with posters and books, like that Deep Purple came with that insert, and the Captain Fantastic came with the books, and I believe a poster as well. At least 2 books. So keep rocking. Thanks a lot. Tony is signing off. And have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye. And please leave a comment. Forgot to mention, please let me know if you agree, disagree. This is just my opinion, obviously. I play these all the time. You may hate them. Say, I'm never going to listen to Captain Fantastic again. I'm tired of it. Or Deep Purple, Smoke on the Water. But let me know what your 10 go-to are. And I'm looking forward to seeing your comments. So thanks a lot. And keep trucking. Bye-bye.